disorder cases in the U.S. are on the rise.
Straight ahead on WVU News, I'm Jhanvee Patel, and I'll tell you why female athletes are more at risk of developing one.
There are over 20,000 different prescription drug products available on the market to consumers. According to the Academy of Managed Care Pharmacy, at least 1.5 million people are harmed every year due to medication error.
Governor Jim Justice did veto this bill, saying, quote, "Our kids are our future." He defers the matter to licensed medical professionals who have overwhelmingly said the bill would cause harm.
Medication can be hard to manage. I'm Jhanvee Patel, and I'll tell you about a new AI tool that could help pharmacists lessen medication error. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
Female athletes with an eating disorder are at risk of developing relative energy deficiency in sports, which occurs when an athlete doesn't consume enough calories to keep up with their energy needs during training and exercise. Bills allowing vaccine exemptions have been brought up in the legislature for the past 10 years. According to the CDC, more than 40,000 American babies are born with a congenital heart defect every year, and 1 out of 4 has a severe case.
Research suggests that every dollar spent on childhood immunization is actually $10 saved in societal costs.
African American babies with congenital heart defects are at higher risk of mortality. The Black community is also disproportionately impacted by heart disease. According to the CDC, every year more than 16 million Americans provide upwards of 18 billion hours of unpaid care for family members and friends with Alzheimer's disease and other related dementias. New advancements using artificial intelligence are being developed right here at WVU to ultimately eliminate medication errors. Coming up on WVU News, the WVU Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute just published groundbreaking research on a new treatment for Alzheimer's disease. I'm Jhanvee Patel, and I'll tell you more on what this means for caregivers for individuals with Alzheimer's. Around 30 million Americans struggle with an eating disorder at some point in their lives, and up to 45% of female athletes have some type of eating disorder. I spoke with a former figure skater to discuss her journey with her body image.
Competed in her first Grand Prix event, Hannah Miller.
Hannah Miller is a former elite competitive figure skater. She competed on Team USA, earning a total of 7 international medals during her career.
There was something about being on the ice, something about all that hard work, all that dedication that my personality just thrived within.
Figure skaters are stereotypically thin with long features, and Miller says she was a power skater with a more muscular build, which led to her developing disordered eating and body image issues.
I was in this world of like, I need to micromanage what I'm intaking. I need to step on a scale every day. I need to work out a certain amount so that I'm burning a certain amount of calories.
Eating disorder symptoms in athletes include weight loss, anxiety, and changes in mood and behavior.
Female athletes with an eating disorder are at risk of developing relative energy deficiency in sports, which occurs when an athlete doesn't consume enough calories to keep up with their energy needs during training and exercise.
45% of female athletes struggle with an eating disorder, and the impacts tend to last even after athletes retire.
Eating disorders are the most lethal of all psychopathologies. It's extremely concerning because of the toll that it takes on you psychologically and physically and socially, and it interferes with your life functioning.
Miller says her family and sports psychologists noticed changes in her behavior when she was struggling, and their support was crucial in her recovery.
It wasn't until I was out of sport till I was able to heal fully. And the decision to retire from sport was a decision, again, of me choosing my well-being.
Driven by personal experience, Miller is now a PhD student at WVU in sport exercise and performance psychology.
Super step sequence, lovely choice of music and well performed.
Brittany Murray was a full-time caregiver for her father, who has Alzheimer's disease until recently. Brittany moved her dad to assisted living after finding it hard to work full-time and be a caregiver.
I'm the youngest of 2 girls, so I'm daddy's little girl, and I don't know the last time that he actually wished me a happy birthday.
Murray works at the Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute, where a new FDA-approved treatment for patients with mild Alzheimer's utilizes ultrasounds to make the brain more receptive to antibody treatment.
It's a proof of concept that it's possible to get higher concentrations of these drugs in safely at least with 3 subjects.
Even though the treatment is in very early stages, it could impact caregivers like Murray down the road.
According to the CDC, every year, more than 16 million Americans provide upwards of 18 billion hours of unpaid care for family members and friends with Alzheimer's disease and other related dementias.
Caregivers are at greater risk of anxiety and depression after caring for both the father and grandmother. Murray says the research is uplifting.
It's not going to bring back my grandma. It's not going to help my dad, but hopefully it'll help others. A hopefulness in the face of a disease that often makes you feel, hopeless.
The West Virginia Alzheimer's Association holds a support group at RNI on the first Wednesday of the month. Stephen Scherer has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a type of congenital heart defect. After undergoing 2 surgeries as a child, he is now on the transplant list waiting for a new heart.
We know it is high risk compared to the average person because of my history, because it's not just only that, it's also reconstructive surgery, so they have to undo everything that was done in my previous surgeries.
Congenital heart defects are the most common type of birth defect.
According to the CDC, more than 40,000 American babies are born with a congenital heart defect every year, and 1 out of 4 has a severe case.
Hypoplastic left heart syndrome results when the left side of the heart develops smaller than normal. Dr. Jay Udasi says it is one of the most complex cases to treat.
3 stages, major surgeries, multiple caths, multiple imaging, CTs, cardiac MRI, cardiology follow-ups.
Scherer says it takes an immense amount of support to keep going.
Family support has definitely been key to keep me grounded, because it definitely takes a toll on you physically as well as mentally and emotionally. So without them, it would be a rough road to go down.
Scherer hopes to have a new heart in the next 6 months.